I trade spot and futures on BYDFi, and if you want to set up an account now, send me a message once you've created your account with your username and UID on Telegram, and I'll put you into a randomly selected prize draw. I've got $10, $20 and $50 gift cards to give out, which basically go against your trading fees, giving you free trading fees basically until the gift cards run out. BYDFi. Hello everybody, good morning. Let's have a look at the charts. So yesterday we were talking about, if we're going to bounce, it's going to bounce from here. This is like perfect opportunity for a bounce. Stuck my neck out a little bit and basically called it. And as we can see this morning, and obviously from yesterday, the bounce hasn't continued. I also said that this was a buy the dip as well, which is again, was a buy the dip from a lower zone. So 2 buy the dips over the last week, and every single entry point perfectly in profit. Thank you very much. So today we're just going to talk about ICP really. I've not even loaded it up, so this will be the first time I'll be looking at it. This morning, outside of waking up and seeing it on my phone and people on the Telegram having a good old time with it. So we'll dissect it a little bit as we speak. We'll freestyle it. When you learn to trade and we learn to analyze charts effectively, this is how we go about it really. It's, there's no point in me revising before I make a video. I'd say it how it is. So we'll just quickly look at Bitcoin first. Again, just like the total 2, bounced from around the 200 the 20 moving average, the 21 exponential also, 21 exponential the day before, back down to the 20 simple, and powered on through above the zone of critical importance. And actually, recognizing this zone that basically is between, we'll call it 41 and 42 really. No candle body actually, well, I suppose you could argue it did, but I'd say no candle body really closed dramatically below it. So when I was saying yesterday that the odds are in favor of further upside to the tune of 65%, this is what I mean. So if you're ever going to get an entry point anywhere, a Bollinger Band center would be all you need. If you were only allowed one indicator your whole life, I'd probably say Bollinger Bands are probably the best for that. Right, so moving away from that, Bitcoin now sitting underneath the 7 simple moving average, which can be a slight problem for it, because this is the first moving average of any significance that gives you continuation, whether you're super bullish or there might be a change of trend. So at the moment, closed below it yesterday. At the moment, we're struggling from it today. This little skinny line here, 7 simple moving average, and the last time we tested it was here. So it is relevant, and it's definitely relevant in very fast-paced trending moves. So big blow off up here. Where did we test? 7 simple, 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 up. So it's pretty relevant when something gets very bullish. If you're a super bull and you basically buy every single dip that you can get your hands on, it's usually the 7 simple gives you the first opportunity. I never really go for it. The 10 exponential for me would be a better one to try, but it does work, and you can see in the super bullish trending move, 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 all the way. So yeah, the 7 is finding a rejection at the moment, yesterday and today. So take that for what it is. It's coming in, and it's descending obviously because it's only a 7-day moving average, so it doesn't take much to change the curve on this one. That's sitting currently at 42,900, we'll call it. So closures above there should go back into a very strong possibility of new local high on this one. But we aren't here to talk about that. We're here to talk about ICP. So let's have a look at that. There you go, super turbo bullish mode on the daily. How hot are we on this when it comes to money flow index? Not that hot, surprisingly. Not that hot. Let's have a look at the structure on the shorter term time frames. She's a bit messy, but she has been consistent. So standard practice, really. The golden cross on the 4 hourly, strengthening of trend. We wicked down, bought back up from support. We touched the 200 exponential, classic example for what was expected to be a V-shaped recovery. So Captain Hindsight kicks in and looks at this and go, well, it's been performing right under our noses really, and it's looking very good. So yeah, bounce, recovery, new local high. So let's check the weekly, because again that 4 hour looks great. Not the daily, the weekly. The weekly. We're going to have to get rid of some of these indicators, because effectively this chart is a Rect City chart. for whatever reason, there was a wick up here at $2,000. Crazy stuff. I know what it sounds like. We're not going to get too optimistic about its general end destination, but we can extend this not moving average, this trend line, which is a significant one, absolutely is significant, and that sits more or less at around about the $7.40. So I would expect that to be a resistance, obviously, and we might look back at this maybe in a few months from now when this alt season is finished and the market's going into a consolidation, and we will look at this area that's basically as low as $3.60 to as high as $7.40, and we will call this an accumulation zone. That's what we'll call it, and it reminds me currently a little bit like our friend Link. I wouldn't put these two in the same boat when it comes to what their fundamentals or whatever, but based on the chart, we have a long period of accumulation. We've been talking about this on the channel since we were in it, really, saying buy it, buy, keep buying, buy it, keep buying. And we stocked up lots and lots and lots of, well, I say we, the royal we being me, lots of Chainlink in this accumulation zone. So it does look a little bit like an accumulation zone, similar to Chainlink, which would suggest that when we finally do break out of this $7.40, it really does start to go crazy, like Chainlink has done. And so that you would be able to slice right through the cake here, and find the next major resistance after this one up here at $16.70. Sounds crazy now because ICP is so very unpopular, and it's basically only ever known downtrend, and technically this is still a downtrend based on the weekly. All we've got is lower highs and lower lows, and this so far is a lower high if it were to close here, and you'd only really say that this is a real change of behavior with closures above the 740. But stepping away from all of that, what we see here is this giant curved 50 exponential moving average on a weekly, and this is the first time, not only have we even come close to it, this is the first time we've touched it, and now we do potentially close above it, which again would make ICP on the weekly above all major moving averages, which you can't say for a lot of alts. Not all altcoins are like this. Weeklies are still recovering and reclaiming moving averages, and they're certainly not above all of them, and ICP looks like it wants to reclaim all of them. Now, I heard a rumour, I don't know if it's true, that FTX were doing some dodgy stuff with ICP, you know, manipulating the price, you know, and that I mean, given what we know about FTX now, it doesn't seem out of the realms of possibility. So with that out the way, and effectively all the sellers sold, now this might be a chart that can be traded, and from what I see, the majority of the total supply is circulating as well, which basically allows for it to gain higher prices, which is good. I also heard somebody sent me a message on the Telegram saying that Binance were running low on their in their hot wallet of ICP, so they wanted well, that basically is technically bullish because it means that they're going to need to stock up and resupply. You have to buy it from somewhere. They're going to raise the price, and it looks like that might be part of what's caused this move today. Outside of the general trend, which has been pretty consistent and pretty good, as we saw in that 4 hourly, it has performed quite well, doing everything you'd expect it to do. So now we've got this golden cross, obviously on the daily, with a 200 exponential sitting down here at $4.20. So if we were to come down for a full-on retest of that, that would be a 34% retracement before we got to that level, if it were to happen today, obviously. These are all trending up, so they'll be moving up. So I think it's relatively safe to say that for the moment we can consider all of this area as an accumulation zone, and we might probably just stay in here, even if we do get continuation of the alt season. I think it's unlikely that we will burst out of here and go straight up to 16. It depends on the nature of the market. Obviously, stocks are looking good today. The FOMC yesterday that helped emphasize that move. Dixie is still moving down a little bit, and things feel a little bit more bullish again across everything right now. Everything is looking bullish again. But it can only go so far. And my fear is obviously with the Bitcoin behaving this way with the money flow index, which actually, you know, now we're looking at this on the weekly, it is coming down a little bit, which is good. It is good to see that. It normally would start to come down before it reaches a major top and then consolidates. So I'm not suggesting that we have, you know, moved the goalpost any further up than 48,000, but rotations can take place and move into some of these alts, which is effectively, if we're going to get a continuation of the alt season, that's what we're looking to get. We're not looking to see brand new money entering the market. To a large extent, we're looking to see rotation events from Bitcoin into altcoins, which is how the market normally behaves in the first couple of years of a bull market, to which we are in the first year of a bull market. 2 more left to go. So that's the ICP USDT pair. The Bitcoin pair is still lagging a little bit further behind based on the weekly. We had a nice retest of the 20 weekly moving average. Again, you know, 65% more likely to remain above this level. Closed above it last week, more or less retested it this week, and from that exact level to the exact level that we're at right now, it's 20% up in a week versus its Bitcoin pair. People probably wouldn't have ever imagined that. I probably wouldn't have imagined it. No, I have a lot of ICP. All underwater, I should say. All underwater. My average buy-in is based around sats, and it's around 2,000 sats. So I'm certainly underwater still, to the tune of 25% versus my Bitcoin pair. Obviously more versus my USDT pair. Look, no one's perfect. No one's perfect. But I liked ICP, and I still like it based on its fundamentals. Now, I'm not a fundamental analyst, but I think, from what I can understand, it's actually a decent project with a lot of promise involved in it, and so I'm happy to hold it for the duration of this bull market. I've made that decision, so I'll be happy to hold, and I'll see where it takes us in the next couple of years. Now, based on what I'm looking at on this weekly, I wouldn't say it's overheated or overstretched. 20 bitcoins in a 24-hour period, which isn't enormous, but it's better than some. We've got ourselves above all moving averages on this daily, although we are now on the money flow index looking a little peaky, but Bitcoin pairs can usually top out before they get into the 90s. It's just an observation. It's not very often that you see a Bitcoin pair move into the 90s, really. And again, we've got low volume on this, so it didn't take much for it to go from the bottom to the top. So the order books are quite stacked already on the Bitcoin pair. So what I'm basically suggesting is, I think that the top on this one is around the 740. And a break above there would be pretty good, but I don't know as it's got the clout or the power to do that. Certainly not on the Bitcoin pair, maybe on the Tether pair. Either way, though, I just wanted you to recognise what's going on here, which is that there is a change of behaviour. This is also the first golden cross on a daily that we've ever had. So let's just reflect on the bullish case. Golden crosses on the daily, continuation of a trend in the form of Tether, which is not overheated and can certainly go on further, and the major resistance is around 740. The weekly closing potentially above that 50 exponential, which would be the first time we've done that. Again, change of behaviour. So all of this does bode well to at least see a further move up to around 740, but the fun will really begin above 740, and it will start to behave more like the chain link chart, which was down in the depths and doing a sideways accumulation for a very long period of time, and looking to break out and make a much larger move, and then continue to make larger moves, and actually then become something completely different, something that people aren't particularly prepared for, because they only know this chart as a terrible looking chart. It's a down only chart, and it still is a down only chart right now, but there is at least for the first time in its history, changes of behaviour. So it is beginning to look different than it's ever looked before, yet nothing is confirmed for breakout. We might still live between 340 and 740, and if we live between this level, it might be something we should think about picking up while being in this area, because the overall direction will be, once it's broken out from here, sell walls are smashed through, we're moving into the 16s, and then from then we've just got a lot of room to make up. 16, then probably into 36, into the 50s, and we'll see where it goes from there. To be honest, we'll see where it goes from there. the bull case is emphasized by the fact that the majority of the supply is out there now. So all those sellers, or all those holders from the original ICO, sold it, haven't they? It's all sold. So now it can start to do something on its own, which it may start to do. But the criteria is closures above this area for major breakouts and continuation. And it does look good right now, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I would never think of buying ICP in the middle of a pump. I would think about buying it at a retracement. And if we ever get the chance to buy 200 exponential, which is like the lower $4 zone, or maybe even the bottom of the trend line, there might be something we should think about doing again now, given the changes of behavior which has just started to show. Anyway, I'll leave with you there. Nothing much more to say. If you want to know more about altcoins or anything like that, join the Patreon live streams. £7.50 a month, 2 live streams a week, and we'll be doing one tomorrow night. Other than that, I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.